I just finished recording this video, but I want to let you know before it even starts. If you cannot watch a video for 15 minutes, then this is not the video for you. Quite frankly, get off my channel because this is for the people who actually want to make a lasting change and who actually want to fix their attention span, alright? So if you can sit down here for 15 minutes, man, that's all I'm asking for you to change your life, then this is not the video or the channel for you, alright? But if you're still here, if you want to make a change, and you actually want to make genuine progress in your life, then I congratulate you, alright? Keep watching. I promise this is going to bring immense value for you, okay, man? Keep watching, man, and enjoy. You know, bro, I'm pretty sure you're starting to realize this, but your parents were right. It's the damn phone, okay? If you want to reduce your screen time and you're tired of wasting endless hours on your phone, scrolling through meaningless stuff, you are a slave to your screen. You just can't find any strategies. You can't find any ways to reduce your screen time because it is a slave. You are a slave to your phone, bro. You're a slave. You're essentially on this phone and you're just expecting the next big reward. You're on your phone and you're like, oh my gosh, when's the next big thing that's going to help me? When is it going to come up? Guess what, bro? Chances are it's not going to come up. Chances are you're not going to see that revolutionary new thing that you've been like searching for this entire time. You're scrolling. Oh, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in this. You're never getting any real satisfaction from your phone, bro. You're never going to find that video, that next post, that next inspiring new thing that's going to tell you, get off of your ass, I should say, and start working right now. You're not going to find that new motivational video that's going to give you any lasting motivation, any lasting drive. You need to find that within yourself. You need to put the phone down and you need to get some actual work done, bro. I want to tell you a story. When I first got my CDL, my trucking license, man, prior to that, I was in my self-improvement journey, bro, and I was like skyrocketing, bro. Like literally, I was walking in the clouds. Nothing could stop me. I was going to the gym consistently 4 times a week, five times a week sometimes. I was taking my rest days. I was recovering. I was doing so well. I was reading. I was journaling. I was doing basically everything right. And then what happened? I got into my first trucking trip and everything started going downhill. Everything went downhill. Why? Because I naturally increased my screen time. I was stimulating my brain like a little goblin, like a monkey. I was scrolling through social media. I was doing all of this meaningless garbage that wasn't actually edifying me, that wasn't actually giving me anything of benefit. What did I expect to happen, bro? I stopped working on myself. I stopped doing these things even after the trucking trip. I had to progressively get back up there into the self-improvement grind. If you reduce your screen time, you will see a difference in your productivity, naturally. I'm pretty sure you've heard of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, the pursue things chemical. I'm pretty sure you've heard of this concept thousands of times and I don't have to explain it to you, okay? But it is a very real thing. If you are scrolling away your attention and you are giving basically this is what your phone does to you, okay? Let me give you a little explanation of what it does. So us as humans, we have fundamental needs, okay? We have fundamental needs. We need social connection. We need intimacy. We need, let's see what else, accomplishments. So how does social media and our phone actually give us these accomplishments in a very donut way, in a very candy bar way, in a very junky way? It gives it to us. Okay, so social validation, you go on social media for a little bit. You scroll through people's stories and you see their lifestyle and your brain thinks, oh my gosh, I'm accomplishing something. Oh, I'm so jealous. And so it presses that social button. It presses that social button in your brain, but it doesn't actually satisfy that social button. It gives you this little burst of dopamine of satisfaction, like, oh gosh, okay, now I don't have to go out and socialize anymore. I don't feel lonely anymore. But you don't get the motivation to actually go out there and socialize because your dopamine system is like, I already did it, even though inside you actually still feel lonely. In terms of intimacy, you start watching some corn. You start watching corn and guess what happens? Your brain is like, it's pressing that intimacy button. It's pressing that intimacy button and it's like, oh, instead of going out there and talking to women for once in my life, I'm going to actually just go on Cornhub and watch 2 people. So you see how these things pile up, like, and in terms of adventure, in terms of accomplishment, you have video games, bro. Video games give you this virtual screen that you can click on. Oh my gosh, I'm making so much progress, bro. I'm leveling up my character. It is so fun. You're not making progress for shit. You're making progress in a meaningless screen that nobody gives a damn about. So now that you know how to, like, the effects of social media and technology on your brain, bro, how do you go about actually making a change? How do you go about actually reducing your screen time? In reality, it's very simple. It's a very simple, yet it's a hard way to do it, okay? Because the procedure itself, it's very straightforward, but it is hard to follow, okay? So if you want an easy change, a quick fix, this isn't the video for you. Go look at another, how to improve your life within the next 24 hours, how to make a huge change and get really rich really quick, okay? Go look at those. This is not the channel for people who want instant gratification. This is for the people who actually want to make a change and want to make it right, who want to make it gradually, and who actually want to make lasting effects in their life, all right? Now, first of all, it's going to be very simple. Uninstall every video game, uninstall social media from your phone entirely, okay? You're gonna do this cold turkey. You're gonna uninstall it, and what you're going to find is it's going to suck. It's gonna suck bad, especially in the next, like within the first few days, first 2 days, 3, 4 days. It depends how addicted you are. It's going to suck, bro. Like, I am telling you, you are not going to have fun. Like, your brain is going to be like, and your response when I told you that was probably in your brain like, oh no, bro, how could you? How could you take away my social media? I have people to talk to. I have posts to look at, bro. You can't take this away. I'm speaking to my homies there, bro. And to that I say, bro, what do you prefer? Speaking to your homies? Sacrificing your little news outlet right there in your social media? Looking at new updates? What do you prefer? Looking at updates, talking to your homies, or do you prefer your mental health? Let me ask you that. And obviously, if you're not crazy, you prefer the latter. You want your mental health to be in a good place, bro. And here's the good part about this, man. You don't have to do this forever. You are going to uninstall social media for a period of time. And that period of time is going to depend from person to person. And I'm going to tell you why. When you uninstall social media, in order to ensure that it stays that way, you're going to have 3 pillars. And I like to call these the 3 pillars of self-improvement. You're going to have something to do physically every single day, whether that be martial arts, the gym. Those are 2 of my personal favorites. You can have something in the mental realm. You can have reading, you can have journaling, you can have meditating. You can you can also have something in the, what was the other realm? Gosh, man, I forgot. Financial realm. Okay, so you can have your job, your 9 to 5, and you can have your side hustle. So working on a business on the side, whenever you're home from work, you can start working on a business. This way, you're gonna fill up your schedule with various things to do, and you're not even gonna have time to go on social media, let alone think about it, okay? Because when you go on social media, you have to understand, when you go on YouTube, when you go on Pornhub, when you go on Netflix, when you go on your video games, what you're doing is filling a void. And the way that you fill that void without actually just going on the internet and frying your brain is you do the following. You actually get it done in real life. So instead of going on Pornhub, you go out there and socialize. You start going to some events, okay? You start going to something of interest that you enjoy. Instead of playing a video game, you start making progress in real life. You start on that business. You go make some money outside in real life. You start working on your body, and you start making progress in the gym. You have to fill the void with other things outside of video games, outside of social media. But the problem is, social media solves these things, and it doesn't even solve these things. Technology solves these things in a really easy way, in a very bite-sized way. But outside in real life, you have to put in the work. It's actually something you have to put in the work. You can think of instant gratification in social media and video games. You can think about them as a Hershey bar, or as a bite-size, as a Skittle. It tastes really good, and it's very digestible. It's easy. And you can think of the outside, the real life thing, as the steak, the prime steak that you actually have to take some time to chew, to digest. It's not easy. It's not straightforward as like, okay, I'm just gonna eat this thing and guess what, bro? The results come instantly. It doesn't work like that, okay? So you're gonna uninstall social media, and you're gonna replace it with other things. Because if you outright just remove it and you do nothing, and oh, you just stare at your wall and you just do nothing, you stare at your ceiling. Actually, that's a really good thing to do, believe it or not, okay? But that's a topic for another video because it's really good for your mental health. We live in a very stimulated age and it's really good for you, but that's for another video. I digress. But the point is, you have to actually fill in the void, okay? Replace it with other habits, slowly, okay? And actually, no, not slowly, cold turkey. Start doing the other habits right away, and that's how you'll actually be able to sustain the uninstalled social media, the uninstalled video games, and all that good stuff, okay? And you might be arguing with me, okay? Okay, what about moderation, Angel? What about moderation? You can have these things and do it like, oh, you can play video games a little bit, okay? Like, it doesn't matter too much. Or you can go on social media for 10 minutes, for 15 minutes. That's totally fine. And to that I say, you're actually correct. But in the beginning, when you're addicted, there's no room for moderation, man. There's no room for moderation. Moderation is for those people who already have good habits built up and they can afford to introduce social media. They can afford to introduce video games into their life in a very measured way. Because people who are addicted, chances are they got addicted because they didn't know it was so bad. They didn't know like the very bad effects of social media or of video games, and now they're fully into them. So now they're dependent on these things. And whenever you're quitting these things, it has to be cold turkey. You can't do them at all. At least for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks until you detoxify from these things. Once you detoxify, you're not dependent on them, you're not thinking about them, and you're going about your day-to-day life, finishing work, you're going to the gym consistently, you're doing all these good habits and you're not actually struggling to keep up with your good habits. Okay, that's when you can actually start looking into, okay, let me introduce some balance in my life, okay? So let's say that you go off of social media or off of video games for 2 weeks, okay? Let's say that you do it for 2 weeks and you're completely detoxified. So you detoxify from these things, you're not addicted anymore, they're not a huge part of your life, you need them. Okay, fair enough, start reintroducing them, but be careful, man. Still do your good habits, don't ignore your good habits, all right? Maybe play video games for 30 minutes, an hour max, and that would be like on the weekends, okay, not every day. And maybe you can go on social media like 10-15 minutes, all right, every single day if you want to scroll for a little bit, okay? But that's it. In my case, bro, when I install social media, when I have it installed, which I do right now, that's because I can actually moderate it. I'm not scrolling out my attention span, okay? I'm not someone who is going on social media, is so dependent on it. It's my whole life. Like, I'm not reading, I'm not journaling, I'm not someone who's I'm not someone, bro, who is not doing all the good habits and is just going on social media. And therefore, because I'm not addicted, I can introduce some moderation, okay? So yes, to your objection of moderation, I tell you, you're right, but those are for the people who are not addicted. If you're currently addicted, you have to do cold turkey, man. You have to quit this thing for a week, 2 weeks, forever, how long. And in order to determine how long you have to actually quit these things cold turkey, it depends on your brain. It depends very much on your brain, because it varies a lot. If you detoxify within a week, then you can reintroduce it in a week. If you detoxify in 2 weeks, you can reintroduce it in 2 weeks. And in order to tell that you're detoxified, just look at your brain. Is it asking for it? Is it begging for it? Are you in pain because you don't have social media? Whenever you're reading, oh my gosh, I just want to go on Instagram, bro. My thumb is just scrolling through to Instagram automatically. That means you're still addicted. That means you're still not detoxified. Once you can surely get to the point where you're not addicted to these things, okay? And let me just preface, okay? Let me actually say, let me clarify. Do not watch corn in moderation, okay? That should be out of your life completely. With the exception of corn, okay? Like, wipe that off completely. That shouldn't be in your life. But once you can like confidently get to the point in your life where you're actually getting productive stuff done without actually thinking about social media, without thinking of the video games, sure, reintroduce them in your life slowly, all right? That's fine. Because you have to understand also, this is the only true way to happiness. When you're detoxified from video games, from social media and all that stuff, I know I sound like a broken record, man, but it's the true way to happiness because your brain is not enslaved to anything. You're enslaved to the good habits, okay? You are enslaved to something, but to the good stuff. You're enslaved to the books. You're enslaved to working out. You're enslaved to all these stuff. But by the way, why do you think it's so easy to get addicted to working out? Why do you think there are so many gym bros? There's progress. Oh, like, and there's numbers on it. It's easy to get addicted, but that's an entirely different video, okay? The way that the gym becomes so addictive, it's actually not a coincidence. They make it in such a way that it can become addicting pretty quick. And it's really nice, but you do have to get into it because it's still a little bit less addicting than video games and all that stuff. But with that being said, brother, use this protocol. I promise you, you will see a change in your life. It'll be day and night, all right? That being said, brother, I want to invite you to our Discord server, all right? It's going to be in the link in the description. We're going to have a 7 p.m. call every single Friday, Mountain Standard Time, about a different self-improvement topic each and every single week, all right? Go ahead and join that. Link in the description below, brother. And remember, a man who masters himself is truly free.